Today's class is going to be a foam roller class, so all you'll need is your foam roller, and if you want a small cushion or a mat or towel for underneath your head. So let's start with our stretches. So before we begin, let's put the weight equal left and right. Find that neutral position in the pelvis, so not sticking your bottom out, not tucked under, somewhere in the middle. And we're going to take our arms up overhead. Okay, make sure you get yourself straight, and then back down. So up and down. Okay, so level up. Okay, so hold that position and just pressing back slightly with both arms. Again, just trying to be as even as you can. Just opening up the shoulders. Maintain that now, and let's just lean over to the side. And then back over to the other side. And again, side. And side. Okay, I'm going to keep my hips still now and just move at the waist. So don't let the hips move out to the side. Just getting a slightly different stretch by doing that. And then go to the side and add in your rotation. So bring your top arm forward, come back and come back to the middle. Over to the other side, top arm goes forward, back and to the middle. And side and forward. So just warming up the back. So just keeping those hips nice and still. And bringing it down. And just shrug those shoulders up and down, just let them relax for a moment. And bring the arms just to shoulder height. So you're in this position and we're just bringing those elbows back. So forwards and back. So each time I bring the roller to my chest, just squeezing those shoulder blades together. Okay, if it's sore on your shoulders, you can go down a bit lower with those elbows, but ideally at the same height as your hands. Just bringing that roller to the chest. And then just bringing that roller just against the hips and just really opening up those shoulders, squeezing those shoulder blades together, and then release. And again, just push that roller just again to your hips a little bit, and just squeeze and release. Squeeze. Release and squeeze and release. We're going to just pop this roller, so hinge to pop your roller down onto the floor. We're just going to work a little bit on balance, so just have your foot on top of your roller, your hips nice and level. We're just going to roll that roller forwards and back, so forwards and back. Making sure we can keep our balance nice and controlled. So as you roll that roller forward now, let's see if you can extend out the opposite arm and back. Just working a little bit on your diagonals. So just again to where you feel comfortable. You should feel the muscles working a little bit on that left side as you stay in your balance. Okay, let's switch side. So just start with the leg first, keeping those hips nice and level. Okay, so just, okay, if you feel comfortable adding in the opposite arm. Sorry, a bit clunky with the zip here. Good. Super. And one more time. Great. Let's come down into kneeling. And if you kneel and just bring your left leg forward, and we're going to just hold the roller just up at the top and just bring the roller up to the top of the head now. And let's just rotate to the right and to the left. So getting a little bit more rotation. Try and keep those hips and knees facing forwards. Breathing into it. If it's available to you, if it's not sore on the shoulders, you can also do it down here. And let's switch sides. So top of the head first. So again, just knees and hips facing forwards. And then if you want behind your head, just stretch the shoulders a little more. And and bring it back out. Okay, let's go on to hands and knees. Push forward into our shoulder stretch. So thumbs pointing up, palms facing up, palms facing down, and again, thumbs up, palms up, palms down. Okay, so just feel that stretch through the shoulders. So we're going to move the roller now underneath the shins. So we're going to start working our tummy muscles. So if you just put it at the end of your mat and just put your ankles on top of it. So onto your hands, lift your knees. So you're in your box plank. So hold that position nice and strong through the hands. If you're really struggling, you can go onto your fists or onto your forearms. Okay? So if it's just too much for the wrists, just go into that position instead. So if you can, you're going to hold this position, and then we're just doing a small movement, just bringing that roller forwards and back. Okay, maintaining that box plank position, feeling like we're tucking our tail under. Let's move forward it. Okay, and again, just keep going. 4, 3, 2, 1, and down we go. Just take a little stretch forwards and back, and let's go again. So small movements, just pulling, keeping those hips up. So think of the box plank, and just a slight movement, pulling those knees forward. Great stuff. All right, so take the roller out. I'm just going to put the roller over to the side, ready for our thread the needle. So right arm is coming through, bend that left elbow and push through and get that stretch. And come back. And again, press. And push. And come back. And push. So aiming that right ear towards the mat. Okay, let's switch sides. Okay, let's come out a bit, a bit more room. And just pushing that left shoulder away, aiming that left ear towards the mat. Okay, we're going to come down into our plank position now. So forearms on, and just take those knees back and just into your plank, half plank position, nice and strong through the shoulders, eyes just looking down, hold position, keeping that roller nice and still. Let's curl the toes underneath now, see if we can pick up the knees. If it's too much, drop them back down and hold, nice and firm. So just holding that position, connecting the ribs and the pelvis, squeezing the bottom, and down you go. Take a stretch and breathe. Back into position again, so either keeping the knees down or lifting them up, whichever your preference is. Chest is over the roller and hold. So make sure you don't drop down too much like this, so keep that position of your bottom, hold it there. Okay, nice and strong with the arms, feeling the tummy muscles working. And down we go. All right, let's push that roller to the end of the mat, lie down onto your mat. Wrists are on the mat, and we're just going to keep the nose lifted and just do our little shoulder shrugs. So allow the shoulder blades to go down the mat. Shoulder blades going down towards the feet, and then shrug up. So small movements. And now we go slightly bigger and come into a little bit more upper back extension. I'm trying to keep my ribs pressing on the mat there, so I'm not coming all the way up into lower back extension. So just small movements. Okay, so leave the roller there at the end of the mat. We're just going to do a little bit of hip work here. So we're going to lift that right leg up. So just hover it slightly. So again, we don't want to arch the lower back. So pubic bone pushing into the mat, ribs slightly lifting, and we're just doing small little lifts up and down with that right leg. Trying to keep the knee nice and straight. So keep your knee straight and small lifts just up and down. Okay, making a square with this right leg now. Change direction. Keep thinking about that pubic bone pushing down just to help with the back. Because the natural tendency is to arch the back, so we want to try and keep that position. And then we go into our bent knee lift, so flex your ankle, bend your knee to 90, and we're pushing the ceiling up with the bottom of that foot, thigh lifting away from the mat, using those bottom muscles to lift. Let's do 5 more. 3, 2, and 1. Switching sides now. So left leg lifting, again set that pelvis and little lifts up and down. Into our little squares. So just make sure you're keeping the right leg quite relaxed, you're not tense through that. Change direction. Bent knee lift, flex the ankle, lifting that thigh up and down. Five more. And 1. Okay, and let's go into mermaid position. So, side sitting, right foot is against your left thigh. If this is too uncomfortable, you can have both knees sitting on one on top of the other. If that's too uncomfortable, then you can have both feet in this position instead. Cushion underneath your bottom is the other option. So we're going to start just by placing the right hand on the roller, left hand up and just pushing away. Move that out the way. And coming back. And again, so pushing over and back. So reaching with that left arm and back. More room. So pushing over and back. So feeling like I'm opening up this side. Let's add in some rotation. So we're going to bring the hand right onto the roller. So we've got both hands and move this one to the side. So you're turning your chest towards. Obviously, anybody with osteoporosis, we're not going to end range rotation. So just to where you feel comfortable and coming back up. And again, pushing away, coming back, pushing away and back, pushing away. And 1 more. Okay, keeping both arms out to the side now. We're going to lean to the opposite way. So we're going to do a slight glide over towards the left and then reach up with that right arm back to the middle. So glide to the left first, hand on and just reach up and back. Try and keep the knees still and the hips down and reach and back. And again, slide over. And then reaching up and back. While we're in this position, we're going to do a little bit of massage for just underneath the shoulder. So not quite in your armpit, just a little bit lower. Support your head and we're just going to massage up and down. So this is where shoulders tend to get quite tight and stiff. So we just want to do a little bit of mobility work here. So just loosening them up a little bit. And then adding in a little bit of rotation, forwards and back. And one more. Perfect. Okay, so let's move everything over to the other side. So roller goes over, legs switch around to the opposite side. Okay, roller straight. So right hand up, just let's settle into your hips a bit. If you feel a little bit of stiffness relative to one side than the other, it's often you feel a little bit more comfortable one way than the other. So once you have your position, we're going to just reach out, push that roller away and come back. And again. And away. Let's bring in our rotation. I'm just going to flip my roller around so it's not quite as noisy. So we're going to the side, bringing both hands onto the roller and push that roller away and lift the chest back up. Push that roller away and coming back up. Push it away, bring it back up and push away and bring it back up. Great. Over to the other side now. So arms are out to the side. So we do a side glide over towards the feet and then a reach up. So a side glide and then a reach. Side glide and reach. And one more. So side glide and reach. And feel that stretch right above those ribs. Okay, into our shoulder massage. So placing that area just below the shoulder, the armpit onto the roller, supporting the head. Okay, just rolling up and down, just getting that little bit of massage in those shoulder blade muscles. Okay, adding in a little bit of rotation forwards and back. And one more. Okay, so we're going to bring our roller the opposite way now. I'm going to do some stretching, but also do some abdominal work. So line your roller up, sit your bottom down towards the bottom end, work your way backwards. If necessary, you can put a cushion underneath your head if that feels more comfortable. So just get yourself organised on your roller, so feet pointing straight ahead. Make sure the roller feels like it's right down the centre of your spine. Tilt your pelvis forwards and back, find that neutral position. Drop the rib cage down. And just take a nice relaxed breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. So we're going to start by just nice and slowly just extending that right leg out all the way. Okay, so making sure that we're not overly arching here in the lower back and bringing it back. So just nice and easy, extend that leg out and bringing it back. And reaching it out, bringing it back. Okay, try not to have any tension in your neck or shoulders. And reaching out. Make sure you're really kind of getting that stretch feeling at the end and back. And reaching out. If you feel comfortable, we're going to add the opposite arm going back. So the opposite arm goes back as, sorry, I'm a bit limited here, and come back. Okay, so taking the arm back all the way towards the floor as you bring that leg out. And again, out and back, and out and back, and one more. So let's switch sides, and you might find you've got one side that feels a bit wobblier than the other. Okay, so again, extending out that left leg, bringing it back in. Extend it out, bringing it back in. Extend it out, and back in, and out, and in. Okay, if you feel comfortable, adding in the opposite arm. And back. So only taking the arm back to where you feel you can control the ribs and back. And again, reach and back and reach and reach back. And last one, and back. So let's bring the right leg into tabletop now. And we're just going to take that leg out and in. So small movement so you don't fall off the roller. So knee and foot going together. So get a sense of that control. So you're working on your rotation control. Try again not to tense the neck when you're trying hard. With shoulders and hands as soft as you can. Okay, if you feel comfortable, we can add in the opposite arm and leg. So both going together. So the other knee staying nice and still. So a smallish movement. Okay, and we switch sides. So start just with the leg first and just taking that leg out and in. So one side can feel quite different to the other as regards your stability. So I'm on my wobbly side now, so it's harder for me to control. So that means my right side maybe isn't quite as good at stabilizing as my left. Okay, so I'm going to probably be a bit wobblier when I add in my arm. So just really focusing on that control. So they're nice small control movements. So you're working lots of little muscles just to keep that control. And bringing it back in. So let's go into some marching now. So bringing the right leg up into tabletop, lowering it down, controlling that last bit as regards the back, and switch. So just alternating legs. So as we lower that leg down, control the spine. Okay, if you feel comfortable with it, we're adding in the opposite. So as you pick up your left leg, take your right arm back and then switch. So nice and controlled, take your time. Okay, and bringing it down. So let's go into our bridge now. So bringing your feet a little closer to the roller and then slowly roll all the way up into your bridge. Okay, and then slowly dropping down from that upper back, mid back, lower back, and then releasing the pelvis to neutral. So tilting and peeling all the way up, keeping those hips up nice and high, but not letting yourself arch in the back. And then slowly rolling down and releasing back. And again, so tilt and peeling up and slowly down. And again, slowly rolling up and slowly down. Okay, and let's do one more of those. And slowly down. So we're going to go into our arm movements now. So I'm just going to go down a fraction of my roll. Okay, so let's start by just marching. So the right arm goes back, the left arm comes forward, and we switch. So just nice and easy, just where you feel comfortable. Now both arms going forwards and back. So start in nice and close towards your ears. And again, we're watching our ribs, keeping them down as much as we can. And then going more into that Y shape, so a wider position. And then into that W position, and then we open and close at the front. So touching the forearms and the elbows, opening out wide. Staying out wide into our little snow angels, so reaching the fingers, touching at the top, bringing the elbows down towards the side. So opening up the shoulders. And again, always controlling those ribs. And then elbows point towards the floor, hands point to the ceiling. We press back with those elbows, squeezing those shoulder blades together a bit. And then reach as if you're hugging and almost kind of open up the shoulder blades. So press down and across. Press down and across. And then we go into our full T position, so arms out straight, really stretching the arms as straight as you can. Palms face up, then palms face down. Palms face up, so arms out 90 degrees, tight little space here with the wall, but just bring your arms out to the side, and then palms facing down, palms facing up, palms facing down. And then we can go into that full arm circle position, so taking the arms up overhead, back down. Lots of obstacles. And change direction. So, you need lots of space when you're doing arm circles, which I don't have here. But get as much space as you can so you're not hitting anything. And coming back down. Okay, so we're going to roll off our roller. And just put the roller down at the bottom of the mat for the moment. So just take a moment now just to lie on your mat and just feeling like you're much more grounded to the mat, the shoulder blades, the pelvis, and feeling that neutral position in the spine. And just take a nice big breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And in, and out, and in, and out. Okay, so we're going to roll the roller just underneath the pelvis and just work on our hip flexor stretch. So we're going to extend out that right leg, grab hold of that left knee and just really open up the front of that right hip. So stretching that leg nice and long. So make sure you don't overly arch those ribs, so pressing down through the ribs. Okay, and then switch sides. And switch again. And switch. You're going to bring the legs all the way up to the ceiling and take the legs apart and bring them back together. And take them apart and bring them back together and take them apart and bring them back together. Now doing the same thing, keep the toes kind of pointed towards one another and take them apart and bring them back. Just see, as long as it's not too uncomfortable on your hip, and back. If it's too uncomfortable, just keep them in neutral and back and out and back. Now heels, so toes pointing out and tap the heels together. Toes pointing out. And then back into your bent knee position. So we're going to just tap the right toe down so you feel a little stretch through the front of that left hip, but don't arch the back. So right and left and right and left. Now instead of going straight down now, I want you to slightly come across so you're getting a little bit more of a stretch at the side of the hip. So slightly across. As if you're kind of tapping where the other foot should be going. And tap. And tap. Okay, so bringing both legs together, just take the knees over to the right now and just do a little bit of bottom massage, so just loosening out the glutes. And then the same over to the other side, so just loosening the glutes. So make a small little circle. And I'm going to place the feet down and just push that roller out. Push it all the way down to the bottom of the mat. So your ankles are resting on it. feel that your neck is nice and supported. So we're going to flex your left ankle, pull your toes up towards you and bring your right leg into tabletop. We're going to just finish off by just opening up the hips, so we're just going to do some hip circles. So I want you to imagine you're standing on the left leg and we're going to make some circles with the right leg. Okay, changing direction. And place that leg down. Switch sides, so pull the toes up on the other leg. Knee, imagine your pencil pointing up to the ceiling. Draw some circles. So that right bottom has to stay down on the mat. Change direction. And bring it back in. Okay, let's roll over onto our side and then come back onto hands and knees and just push that ball, the roller forward rather, and just go into your stretch again and then come back. And again, just stretching forward, coming back and stretch. And one more. So bring the roller with you. Let's come up into standing. So from standing, let's take the arms up overhead. Again, trying to get yourself nice and level. Hold that stretch, lean over to the side. And then over to the other side. And side. And side. And one more side. And side. Bring the roller round the back now. And just squeezing those shoulder blades together, opening up the chest. And then release. And again, squeeze and release and squeeze and release and squeeze and release. Pop your roller down. Let's just finish off by just focusing on that neutral again. So feet shoulder width apart. Find that neutral position in the pelvis. Open up the chest, bring the chin in, grow tall through the top of the head. And breathe nice and relaxed in through the nose and out through the mouth. And in through the nose and out. And one more. And out. And well done. We're all done.